तो क्यों ना हम कुछ बात कर लें सेशन शुरू होने से पहले, खास तौर पे उन दोस्तों से Assalamu alaikum. Hope everybody is doing very well and good day for everyone in Pakistan or in Dubai or in India where you've been vlogging. Today's session is about some topics which can be handy for your preparation, especially when you doing this exam preparation. Hope everybody's doing very well and okay, so Marine, Aksa, and Subia. There are 3 participants joined early. That's so nice. Early Anna is amazing to the session. It's very good. Good sign. Shows that you really interested in the topic. म्यूट है आपका शायद सूबिया इफ्तिखार अली आपके नाम से लॉगिन नजर आ रहा है मुझे. If you want to say something, that's you can unmute your system and talk. SAMI जो है वो लॉगिन करने वाले हैं within few minutes और कुछ फ्रेंड्स ने अपनी अनसर्टेनिटी मुझे ऐसा लगा जैसे कि वो बता रहे हैं कि एग्जाम की डेट जो है वो उनको मिलने में एक इशू सा आ रहा है. तो उस पे भी कुछ बात करेंगे कि क्या स्ट्रेटजी कर सकते हैं. तो मैंने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले एक मैसेज दिया था ग्रुप में कि why not we do use our Twitter for a request with the stakeholders. So is everyone ready with the Twitter, so we can use the tweet today and tag those key holder peoples in our journey who may be influential in making the decision. चलिए मैं थोड़ी सी बात कर लेता हूँ. अभी सब लोग आ रहे हैं, ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं, तो I'll just talk about the pathways that available for pharmacist. फार्मेसी का एग्ज़ाम जो है, कैप्स की जो असेसमेंट है वो मैं थोड़ी सारी कैप कर देता हूँ. कैप्स की असेसमेंट के लिए देखें आपको वर्क एक्सपीरियंस की कोई रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है और जस्ट आपको एक आपकी डिग्री और मार्कशीट एंड देन आपका जो फार्मेसी काउंसिल का सर्टिफिकेट वो चाहिए होता है. कोई अटेस्टेशन नहीं चाहिए होती है. एंड इसमें आपका पासपोर्ट बना हुआ है, दैट्स वेरी गुड. और आपका जो CNIC कार्ड है वो, इसके अलावा जो ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस है या थर्ड कोई डॉक्यूमेंट, अगर बर्थडे सर्टिफिकेट है तो वो आप यूज़ कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. तो इसमें बहुत सारे जो लोग कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं, वो असल में कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं जब सबके सब जो हैं अटेस्टेशन को डॉक्यूमेंट्स को करने चले जाते हैं. तो अटेस्टेशन की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. कैप्स की जब सबमिशन हो रही है डॉक्यूमेंट की, ऑनलाइन पोर्टल आप सिंपल बनाए APC की वेबसाइट पे जाके, APC की जो वेबसाइट है उस पर आप अपना पोर्टल बनाइए एंड देन यू कैन मेक दैट पोर्टल यूजफुल फॉर योर जर्नी इन अ वे दैट कि उसमें ऑनलाइन सारी डॉक्यूमेंट आप स्कैन करें कलर स्कैनर से एंड जो डॉक्यूमेंट जब स्कैन हो जाए कलर तो आप उसमें अटैच कर सकते हैं इंडिविजुअली, एंड इंडिविजुअली जब अटैचमेंट हो जाती है तो इजीली आप अपनी फीस वीज़ा कार्ड से या डेबिट कार्ड से पाकिस्तान में जो भी आपका बैंक अकाउंट है उससे आप पे कर सकते हैं, या आपका कोई अगर जानने वाला है ऑस्ट्रेलिया में रिश्तेदार है तो you can ask them to pay the fee and you can transfer the amount to him by any other way, but this is some another way that you can use. कुछ बातें कर लेते हैं कैप्स के हवाले से। कैप्स के एग्ज़ाम साल में 3 दफ़ा होते हैं, ठीक है, और जब 3 दफ़ा होते हैं तो इसका मतलब है कि आप जितनी चाहे दफ़ा उसको अटेंड कर सकते हैं। जितनी चाहे दफ़ा अटेंड करने का मतलब है कोई उसमें लिमिट नहीं है एग्ज़ाम के अंदर कि आप अगर एक दफ़ा फेल हो जाते हैं तो आप दोबारा बैठ सकते हैं। जिसको जितनी दफ़ा फेल होने का शौक है वो दोबारा दोबारा दे सकते हैं, कोई लिमिट नहीं है। मुझसे किसी ने सवाल किया था सेमिनार्स में कि हम अगर ये एग्ज़ाम कोई लिमिट है उसमें एक दफ़ा दे सकते हैं उसके बाद दोबारा नहीं दे सकते, तो उसका आंसर ये है कि कोई भी अनलिमिटेड उसमें कोई लिमिट्स नहीं है, लेकिन कोशिश करें कि पहली अटैम्प्ट में इसको पास कर लें, ठीक है। और जो अगला एग्ज़ाम है वो कैप्स का जो अगला एग्ज़ाम है जो मैं भी वेबसाइट खोल के देख रहा हूँ apharmacycouncil.org.au जो वेबसाइट है उसके ऊपर डेट नज़र आ रही है एग्ज़ाम की 20, 21, 22 नवंबर, ठीक है ना, 20, 21, 22 नवंबर। तो इस एग्ज़ाम की जो डेट्स हैं इसको लॉक करने जिन्होंने कर लिया है दैट्स वेरी गुड, जो नहीं कर सके हैं अपनी असेसमेंट का वेट कर रहे हैं तो वो कर लें। जब ऐसी असेसमेंट आती है जहाँ की भी उनको नज़र आती है विजिबिलिटी, दुबई में एक और नया सेंटर खुला है मुझे पता चला है 2 रोज़ पहले, तो अभी मेरी बात हुई थी तो किसी ने पैनिक में फ़ोन किया था मुझे कि एग्ज़ाम जो है वो मुझे पाकिस्तान में नहीं मिल रहा है, तो मैंने कहा था ठीक है आप 2 लाख रुपया खर्च कर लेना फ़्लाइट के ऊपर दुबई आने जाने का, तो कर लो जाके। इन मीन वाइल अगर कोई सेंटर खुल गया तो वापस करा लेना, अपना इधर शिफ्ट करा लेना पाकिस्तान में, ठीक है। यही स्ट्रेटजी मैंने लास्ट टाइम भी बताई थी जुलाई के इनटेक वालों को। बहुत सारे लोगों ने मार्च में अपनी बुक्स कर ली थी अप्रैल में, लेकिन जब एग्ज़ाम सेंटर्स खुले थे पाकिस्तान में तो उन्होंने शिफ्ट करा लिए थे दुबई की, अपनी कैंसिल करा ली थी, कोई फीस वगैरह ज़ाया नहीं हुई थी उनकी, ठीक है। और जब एग्ज़ाम में बैठना है 20 तारीख को या 21 तारीख को या 22 तारीख को, तो उसकी जो रजिस्ट्रेशन पीरियड है वो खुल चुका है और 9 अक्टूबर इज़ द लास्ट डेट टू सबमिट योर फी, ठीक है। सबमिट, ये डेट्स बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो ये डेट्स की तस्वीर खींच के कहीं लगा लें। आखिर तक वेट ना करें 9 अक्टूबर तक का, उससे पहले पहले जैसी मौका हो तो आप लोग जमा कर दें फीस, ठीक है ना। तो रिजल्ट जो है 19 दिसंबर को आउट हो जाएगा। 19 दिसंबर को जब रिजल्ट आउट हो जाएगा तो उसके बाद ऑस्ट्रेलिया में छुट्टियां हो जाती हैं क्रिसमस की, सब अपने अपने गांव चले जाते हैं जो भी जहाँ क्रिसमस मनाने के लिए। तो उसके बाद फिर ये जनवरी के 10 तारीख तक वापस आते हैं। तो एग्ज़ाम में पास हो गए तो आप भी छुट्टियों में चले जाइएगा, मज़े कीजिएगा। बहुत सारे दोस्त जो है नवंबर लास्ट ईयर 22 में बहुत सारे लोगों ने इम्तहान पास किया था, तो वो छुट्टियों में के गए कि वो ऐसे ही चले गए कि पलट के नहीं देखा और सीधा ऑस्ट्रेलिया पहुंच गए, ठीक है। तो आप लोग भी ऐसा कर सकते हैं, नवंबर में इम्तहान पास करें और मार्च तक अपना वीज़ा सॉर्ट आउट करके पहुंच जाए ऑस्ट्रेलिया अपने काम अपनी नई जॉब्स के अंदर। तो ये तो बड़े मैंने सब्ज बाग दिखा दिए, सब्ज बाग, ग्रीन ग्रीन गार्डन्स। तो जो जो इस पर बिलीव करेगा, मेरे ख्याल से बहुत सारे लोग बिलीव करते हैं इन बातों पे, क्योंकि ये सब बातें हम अगर ड्रामाई अंदाज में बात करें तो ऐसा लगेगा कोई शेष चिल्ली बोल रहा है, ठीक है, लबी लबी छोड़ रहा है जिसे हम कहते हैं। तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, लेकिन रियलिटी में देखा जाए तो इस कैन बी पॉसिबल इफ़ यू लॉक इन दीज डेट्स। और पीटी जो है इससे पहले कर लें ताकि आपका जो स्टेट नॉमिनेशन जो है वो रेडी हो लॉन्च करने के लिए। और अगर वीज़ा वगैरह खुद नहीं करना है किसी ने तो हमने 3 इमिग्रेशन एजेंट जो हमारे दोस्त वगैरह हैं, कोई कमीशन नहीं देते मुझे, कोई पेमेंट नहीं करते, लेकिन अगर उनसे करवाना तो उनसे करवा लो। तो मैं सोच रहा था कि अभी कल शायद एक सेशन में करूँगा, उनके साथ थोड़ा सा डिस्कस कर लूँगा वीज़ा ऑप्शंस क्या क्या हैं इस वक्त और स्टेट नॉमिनेशन कब खुल रही है। तो वो कल मैंने टाइम लिया है उनसे, तो मे बी कल हम थोड़ी देर के लिए 10-15 मिनट के लिए उनसे बात करेंगे इमिग्रेशन ऑप्शंस के ऊपर, फार्मासिस्ट के। तो आई एम जस्ट वेटिंग फॉर समीउल्लाह, यस। और समी जो है वो बहुत शौक से, उन्होंने बहुत प्यार से कल मैसेज किया कि ये मैं करना चाहता हूँ, अपनी तरफ से कुछ गिव बैक टीच करना चाहता हूँ। तो उन्होंने बड़ी खूबसूरत सी एक प्रेजेंटेशन तैयार की है, तो वो शेयर करेंगे और फिर उसमें कुछ वो बताएंगे और फिर आखिर में जिसने जैसे सवाल पूछने पूछे और सभी जो है रेडी होंगे आपके जवाब देने के लिए। तो you can see some names here which I know, most of them. इमरान, इमरान आपको नहीं जानता मैं, आप पहली दफा आए क्या?
Yes, I'm here for the first time.
Okay, Imran, where are you at the moment?
Currently, I'm in South Africa.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
originally from India, Gujarat,
okay,
but
okay,
currently I'm in South Africa.
okay. Good to see you. That's good that you approached me, and now you're in the group, and now you're in the Zoom meeting. Wow, that's amazing. Very, very quick,
Yeah, thank you.
very quick progress. जी सभी, क्या हाल चाल है आपके?
Right. Alhamdulillah, how are you, sir?
ये सब वेरी वेल, वेरी वेल, थैंक यू। चलिए मैं होस्ट के राइट दे रहा हूँ समी को, बैक टू। और सभी आप के पास ऑप्शन अभी आएगा स्क्रीन के ऊपर, तो आपको फिर एक और भी काम करना होगा प्रेजेंटेशन के साथ साथ। जब आप होस्ट होंगे ना तो बहुत सारे लोग मीटिंग में आ रहे होंगे उस वक्त। अभी खाली 16 लोग आए, लेकिन एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि इस वक्त मेरे ख्याल से 50 या 100 लोग एंटर होंगे जूम मीटिंग के अंदर। ठीक है, तो आपको फिर देखना होगा कि अगर कोई वेटिंग में आ रहा है तो उसको आपने ऐड करना होगा। ठीक है, बस ये आपको देखना होगा, दैट्स ऑल। बाकी ये पेड वर्जन है हमारा, तो ये जितने घंटे आपने बात करनी है ये आपके लिए। ठीक है, ठीक है, आई एम जस्ट सेंडिंग दैट ऑप्शन। इसमें एक ऑप्शन होगा, टन, 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 टन।
जी सर, एक काम करते हैं,
जी जी,
ये राइट्स हम किसी और को दे देते हैं। यहाँ पे अगर यहाँ पर हमारे पास मिस समीन है,
ठीक है,
मिस समीन आपको दे दें हम ये राइट्स?
ओके ओके, ठीक है।
मुझे आपको बताना होगा कैसे देते हैं, क्योंकि मैंने कभी किया नहीं है ऐसे। मैं आपको होस्ट बना सकता हूँ, मुझे मेरे पास स्क्रीन के अंदर, मैं अगर लेट्स से अगर मैं समीन जिया को होस्ट करता हूँ तो वो सारे राइट उनको चले जाएंगे। फिर आप प्रेजेंटेशन पे से बात कर सकेंगे, आपको स्लाइड्स भी दिखानी होंगी, तो आप स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं कर पाएंगे। आई थिंक दिस इज व्हाट माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग, मे बी आप कर पाए, आई डोंट नो। आप करके देखें, मैं आपको राइट देता हूँ ये वाला। देखिए अभी भी
ठीक
लोग
है।
एंटर हो रहे हैं बारी बारी, मैं उनको क्लिक करता जा रहा हूँ। Let's do this and just do a test. Make host to Mr. Sami. Do you change the host to Sami? Yes. जी समी, आपके पास देखें, आपके पास एक ऑप्शन विंडो पे आया होगा कि आप होस्ट बन जाए।
ठीक सर।
अब देखें आपको
जी सर, वो आ चुका है।
ठीक है, देखें आपको वो पार्टिसिपेंट एडमिट होते हुए नजर तो नहीं आ रहे बारी बारी, स्लोली स्लोली?
आ रहे हैं सर, आ रहे हैं नजर।
तो ये काम भी आपके हाथ में आ गया, उसका मतलब।
एडमिट ऑन,
ठीक
ठीक है,
है,
इट्स ओके।
आप बस देखते जाइएगा कि जो जो ऐड, और जो भी इसमें कोई ऐसा हो जिसको आप बोलेंगे यार ये मुझे तंग कर रहा है, इसको बाहर निकालना, तो आप बाहर भी निकाल सकते हो।
ठीक सर।
और सभी कैसे हैं, कैसा दिन गुजरा आपका? वीकेंड, सैटरडे काम का दिन था या छुट्टी का दिन था या पिकनिक की?
आज सर छुट्टी का दिन था और पीटीई का दिन था।
अरे वाह, ओके।
तो सुबह से पीटीई की प्रैक्टिस चल रही है।
अरे वाह, ओके, वेरी नाइस। आज हसन शाहिद जो है वो पीटी करके आ गए, बता रहे थे, मुझे मैसेज किया था जैसे ही वो बाहर आए थे, पीटी कर दिया मैंने।
वो माशाल्लाह काफी एक्टिव बंदे हैं।
यानी बहुत अच्छी बात है, एक्टिव होना चाहिए। जब जब मिशन इतना बड़ा है तो एक मिनट भी क्यों हम जाया करें।
बिल्कुल ऐसे सर। कोशिश ये है कि जो हमारा टारगेट है 90+ मार्क्स का, वो पूरा चाहिए, भले एक हफ्ता लेट हो जाए। तो जितनी ज़्यादा प्रैक्टिस होगी उतना ज़्यादा अच्छा होगा। मैंने पहले प्रैक्टिस नहीं की थी इतनी, तो अब करके टारगेट अचीव होना चाहिए। ये मैं बाकियों को भी यही कहता हूँ ग्रुप में।
कहीं समय आपका दोबारा इम्तिहान देने का दिल तो नहीं कर रहा है? इतनी पढ़ाई करने की बातें कर रहे हैं।
सर बस पीटीई देना है।
ओके ओके, वेरी नाइस। आपकी स्लाइड्स
सर
कैसे, आपने स्लाइड्स पे कितनी देर काम किया है जो आप दिखाने वाले हैं?
स्लाइड्स मैंने कल से बनानी शुरू की हैं, और एक सॉफ्टवेयर है जो मुझे काफ़ी पहले से आता है। मैं यूनिवर्सिटी में भी उस पर ही प्रेजेंटेशन दिया करता था। इंटरेस्टिंग है, अच्छा लगेगा।
ओके, वेरी नाइस। क्योंकि मेरी वाइफ की कल एक प्रेजेंटेशन है, तो मैं उसके लिए पावर पॉइंट पे स्लाइड बना रहा था अभी ना। स्क्रिप्ट्स कितने टाइप की होती हैं फार्मेसी में, तो ये आम जनता को पढ़ाना है जाके, आम पब्लिक को, कि फार्मेसी में इस वक्त ई स्क्रिप्ट्स कैसी होती हैं और एप्स पे स्क्रिप्ट्स कैसी होती है, तो ये उसने बताना है जाके।
बिल्कुल ठीक सर। अच्छा सर, वी आर लाइव ऑन यूट्यूब एज वेल।
जी जी, हम लाइव हैं यूट्यूब। अभी हमें 12 लोग वहाँ ज्वाइन किए हुए हैं इस वक्त, और 34 आपकी मीटिंग में इस वक्त।
ठीक सर, आई एम हैविंग सम प्रॉब्लम विद स्क्रीन शेयरिंग, क्योंकि मैं 2 जगह से लॉगिन हुआ हूँ, मोबाइल से और लैपटॉप से।
तो जहाँ आपके पास राइट है ना होस्ट वाला, उधर ही से आपको करना पड़ेगा।
एक मिनट सर, लेट मी ट्राई, जस्ट अ मिनट सर।
जी जी। कोई बात करना चाहेगा? कोई बात करने में इंटरेस्टेड है? रेज हैंड करें जब तक समी रेडी हो रहे हैं। तो इफ यू वांट टू शेयर समथिंग, इफ यू वांट टू आस्क समथिंग।
हेलो सर।
जी जी, कौन बात कर रहे हैं?
सर माय सेल्फ दानियल शेख फ्रॉम इंडिया।
हमें नजर नहीं आ रहे आप कहाँ, क्या नाम है दोबारा बताइए प्लीज।
दानियल शेख सर।
दानियल शेख, दानियल
यस
शेख।
सर।
कैमरे पे हैं? क्योंकि दानियल आपको मैं देख नहीं पा रहा हूँ। वेयर आर यू?
हाँ सर, कैमरा इशू है, थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है मोबाइल का।
ओके ओके, दानियल कहाँ पे हैं आप?
सर मैं इंडिया से हूँ।
ओके ओके, श्योर श्योर।
सर मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है, क्या अगर हम अभी तो मेरा रजिस्ट्रेशन का प्रोसेस अभी चालू हुआ है, लेकिन पीसीआर का अप्रूवल नहीं आया, तो अगर मैं अगस्त और सितंबर तक के असिस्मेंट देता हूँ तो मुझे नवंबर एग्जाम के लिए अप्लीकेबल हो सकता है सर?
देखो, नवंबर के लिए अगर आपने असेसमेंट स्टार्ट भी नहीं की है ना, अगर फॉर एग्जांपल, तो आपके लिए मुश्किल है। यू नीड टू प्लान फॉर मार्च,
अच्छा।
क्योंकि टाइम बहुत कम है। अभी जैसे मैंने डेट्स एक्सप्लेन की थी, 8th ऑफ अक्टूबर इज द लास्ट डेट टू लॉक द एग्जाम। तो आप को एग्जाम की रेडी, आपको डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं होंगे असेसमेंट के, तो यू नीड टू आई थिंक प्रोबब्ली प्लान फॉर मार्च। अगर रजिस्ट्रेशन फुल नहीं आती है तो यू कैन गो फॉर अंडर प्रोसेस लेटर फ्रॉम योर काउंसिल, दैट आल्सो ओके फॉर ऑस्ट्रेलियन फार्मेसी काउंसिल। जी जी समीर, जो आप रेडी हैं समीर?
जी सर, अब रेडी।
Okay, thank you, Sheikh. Daniel, आपने सवाल किया. We are just here for that Samiullah's talk, especially he's guiding. So we're going to listen to him first as the priority. All right. So we will take the questions later after this session. Okay.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
Thank you.
यस सर, श्योर। अच्छा जी, स्टार्ट करते हैं।
Sure.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन। My name is Muhammad Samiullah. I am from Lahore, and I recently passed my KAPs exam in July 2023, for which I must thank Allah, and I want to thank Sir IRFAN Hashmi for giving us such an amazing opportunity and community. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see that.
Yes.
Okay, fine, perfect. I actually want one person to reply me with voice, just one person, so that I know that I am talking to someone.
Done, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Just one. It should be इरफान भाई हैं यहाँ पे, उनके साथ अच्छा लाइजन बनता मेरा। इरफान भाई।
जी जी सर, सुन रहा हूँ आप।
रेडी हैं सर?
रेडी।
हल्का हल्का रिप्लाई आपकी तरफ से आता रहे, ठीक है जी?
ओके सर।
अच्छा जी, ये सबसे पहले हम देख लेते हैं कि हम लोग क्या चीज़ें देखने वाले हैं। ये प्रेटी बेसिक होने वाली हैं, और लेकिन ये ज़रूरी हैं। क्योंकि सबको हमने साथ लेके चलना है, तो अगर बेसिक्स नहीं आएंगी तो फिर एडवांस चीज़ें भी हमें नहीं आएंगी। अच्छा जी, जैसा कि स्क्रीन के ऊपर आप देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पे कुछ टॉपिक्स हमारे पास लिखे हुए हैं, लाइक बेसिक कन्वर्जन्स। Conversions are super important, and we are going to use them in almost all the questions we will have in KAPs. We are going to use basic conversions. Then the percentages, these are also important. These are part of a lot of questions, so we will take a good look on these as well. And we will also discuss weight and volume sort of things here too. Then we will move on to our main topic, that is allegation method. I have seen quite some people asking about allegation method in last few days or last week. So I decided to make presentation around this allegation method. All of the other stuff here is just an add-on. So then we will talk about the moles, millimoles, milliequivalents, milliosmoles, just the basic topic, just the basic sense of this, and we will go into the details later. So everyone is ready with a paper and pen? Just raise hands.
Yes, we're ready.
Yes, sir, we are ready.
Okay, perfect.
Yes,
Perfect. Because if you would like to repeat something and you have taken notes, this would take around 4 to 5 minutes. And if you want to watch the whole video to repeat things, it will take 1 hour or so. So let's dive into the basic conversions. These are the unit conversions actually, and we will use this throughout our calculations. If you have gone through the calculations, you would have seen that the conversions are used on a lot of places. Okay, so we will practice these today, right now, and we will get these on our fingertips. Right with me, you are gonna do this. Okay, going into the basics, we know that there is a main unit and smaller units like milli, micro, nano, and pico. So if we go one step towards the top, it's a kilo unit, and then there is main unit, then we have milli, micro, nano, and pico. I want you all to memorize this: milli, micro, nano, and pico. So speak in your head, and if you want, mute your microphone and speak with me, like milli, micro, nano, pico, milli, micro, nano, pico. I have a quiz designed just a few slides after, so we're going to use this thing: milli, micro, nano, and pico. Milli, micro, nano, pico. Good. Sir Irfan, could you please say that? My friend Irfan Saab.
milli, micro, nano, pico. Milli, micro, nano, pico.
Yeah, wonderful. Milli, micro, nano, and pico. So let's move to our next step. Okay, we are with the grammage, the weight units. So the main unit is gram. If we move one step up, it's kg, kilogram. And if we move downwards, it's the same: milli, micro, nano, and pico. Milligram, microgram, nanogram, and picogram. So this should be clear to everyone because we already have pharmacy degrees. The next thing is about the volumes. This is like liter, then we have milli, micro, nano, and pico. This thing goes same with all of these units. Okay. People are joining in. Okay, moving towards our next unit. This is meter, and same: milli, micro, nano, and pico. So I think you are familiar with these units of M for milli, and U for micro, N for nano, and P for pico. So same for the meter: milli, micro, nano, and pico. And if we go up, there is a kilometer. For liter, we do not use the kiloliters or anything. So I have not mentioned it. It's not important. Just miss it. So with the meters, milli, micro, nano, and pico. And here is one unit is missing that we use commonly. Other than this milli, micro, nano, and pico. Can somebody tell me which one is that? Other than milli, micro, nano, pico? Yes, centimeter. So there is an exception for this centimeter. Okay, next is moles. It's not mentioned in our tables, in our notes, but I think it's necessary to mention it here that this is just like any other unit. There is moles, then there are millimoles, then there are micromoles. Don't go down there. We don't use that. If you have to, you know how to solve this. So moles, millimoles, micromoles. So next, equivalent. And same with the equivalent, we use milli equivalent. So basically we use milli equivalent a lot. So I wanted to give you a view of that equivalent is 1000 times bigger than the milli equivalent. That's it. Okay, now the missing part was with the meter. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. So this is the exception of centimeter in our this meter column. Okay, everyone is clear up to this point?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
sir.
Yes.
This is pretty basic, but try to keep this on your hand. Let me ask you a question here. Please mute your microphones. Okay, I want to ask you a question. If you want to go 2 steps at a time, for example, we are going down from gram to microgram. Can we multiply this by 2000? Because we have to move 1000 each step. Okay, let me show you.
1000 something.
Wait a second. So if we go down the path, we will multiply it by 1000. For example, if we want to convert gram to milligram, we will multiply it by 1000. And if you want to go up, we will divide it by 1000. But if we want to go a couple of steps in the same time, then we have to multiply it by 1000 again and again and again. Anybody get the sense of this?
Yes, sir.
To go from grams to nanograms, we cannot multiply by 3000. Rather, we have
Yes,
to
sir.
multiply it by 1000, then again 1000, then again multiply by 1000. Same rules applies when we go up, we will divide it.
Perfect. Perfect, sir.
Okay, got it.
Now we are multiplying by 1000 or dividing by 1000.
Okay, please repeat. I haven't listened to the whole sentence.
Find out why we are multiplying by the common factor 1000 and dividing by 1000. Any reason
Yeah.
why?
Why? Because we need to
Yes.
convert from one unit to another. For example, in a question, it says everything is in milligrams, and at the end, you have to convert to grams to give the answer. The 4 options there are in grams. So you need to convert it into gram. That's why we need to convert these things from one unit to another.
So we are converting from one unit to another. So assuming we are converting from gram to milligram, you multiply by 1000.
Yeah. And what if we want to convert from gram to microgram? What would we do then?
So you can multiply
it by 1000, then again multiply by 1000. Yeah, again multiplying by 1000.
Okay.
Okay, moving forward. This is pretty basic. If anybody want to take screenshot, this is the time. Take the screenshots. I am giving you 10 seconds. Okay, moving forward to our next slide. Okay, guys, now we are up to the temperature conversions. The notes we have in the group, they have this thing in one of the pages where our 4 conversions are there. One is from Fahrenheit to degree centigrade, one is from degree centigrade to Fahrenheit. Then we can find out Fahrenheits out of Kelvins, and then we can find Kelvins from centigrades. Centigrades to Kelvin. So this is pretty basic. There are actually a few digits that you need to memorize. This is, first one is 5 by 9. Second one is 32, and third is this. I couldn't see it. Wait a second, 273, I guess. Yeah, 273. So these are the 3 things we need to know, and just memorize these things in your own way. Everyone will do this in their own way. It's super easy. First, memorize this formula. This is simple. To find out degree centigrade, degree Fahrenheit minus 32 multiplied by 5 by 9. So if we want to find degree Fahrenheit, it's simple. Just rearrange the equation after the degree Fahrenheit. So this will be from 5 by 9 to 9 by 5 and minus 32 to positive 32. So make sure you understand this bracket means. First we need to multiply it and then we will add 32. So simple for Fahrenheit, simple 5 by 9 and write down how many Kelvin are here. So we will get Fahrenheit. Same, if you want to know the Kelvin from Fahrenheit, you shuffle the formula, rearrange the formula, and you will get it. The third one is important one, finding out the Kelvin out of degree centigrade. In later stages, we need this in one of the formulas. I think it's in the Arrhenius equation. So memorize these 4 formulas. These are simple, but we need to memorize these. These are already in our notes. So moving forward. The conversion between kilograms and pound is also important. You will see this in some of your questions. So 1 kg is equal to 2.2 pound and 1 pound is equal to 0.454 kg. This is pretty simple formula and we all know this. Just to try, if anybody want to try to calculate how much pounds are 20 kg. So what we will do, we will multiply 2.2 by 20 because we are multiplying it here 20 kg. So multiply it here to 2.2 multiplied by 20 or 100. Same, if we want to find out the pounds out of the kgs, simply multiply this 0.4.4 with the required pounds. So it will give us the kgs. Anybody want to try that right now on the calculator? I can give you a minute. Because these are simple things, but sometimes we stuck at simple things.
Yes, these are simple.
And we need to do simple things again and again to accomplish complex things, right?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, if we are converting 50 pounds,
Yeah. Into
for
kgs.
example, if we are converting 50 pounds into kg, so
Yeah.
we can multiply 50 into 2.2.
No, 50 by 0.454.
0.454.
0.454.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. I understand.
And for a basic things to have in our minds, we know that the pound is less than the kgs. So basic instinct while looking at the answer, we can say that this is correct or not. For example, we are converting pounds to kgs and it's giving us the result of even more kgs than pounds, then we know that this is wrong. So pounds should be less than the kg. Okay, some people still coming in. Okay, should I move forward? I think I should. Okay, guys, let's try it. And I will give you 1 minute time to calculate this statement on the screen and write the answer in the chat column. This is not a race. Just do it, take your time. And what I want you to do is to do it one time just in front of me so that if you encounter something, I can answer your query. So the first statement on your screen is convert mg to grams.
Milli is what?
It's
Milli is
0.002 gram.
Yeah, we just have to, because this is one step downwards, milli, micro, nano, pico. So milli is one step downwards, so we divide it by 1000. So this is simple. Anybody trouble with this?
Oh, sir.
Yeah, good. Okay, so the answer is 0.002 grams. That's right. The next question is 1.5 milliliter to microliter. So good. The question, the answer is 1500 microliter. So what you are gonna do, you guys are gonna practice more and get this thing on your fingertips. Because in KAPs, we do not have enough time to think about these kind of things. At least we can memorize these things in this way that we just directly use calculator to find out the answer. Now this is a tricky one, a bit tricky one because it wasn't directly in the table. So what is 200 centimeters converted into millimeter? What will be your approach?
2000 mm.
Okay, that's good. You knew it. Let's others try. The people answering 2000. 2000, yes. So if you actually calculate it, there are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. This wasn't mentioned on the table, but that's the fact. Okay, good everyone. Moving forward. 2000 millimeter. And one last question is about the moles.
Sir, आपने 1 centimeter equals to
20 millimoles.
mm.
20 millimoles.
10 millimeters. 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters.
$200 centimeter वाला बता दें सर दोबारा से third one.
यस सर थर्ड वाला दोबारा बता दें मुझे भी समझ नहीं आया
मैं आपको ये बता रहा हूँ कि इस टेबल के अंदर sorry we have some person here who only speaks English. This wasn't in the table. The direct conversion of centimeter into any other unit. So this was an exception. I told you that there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So if we calculate this, there are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. So this was very simple. After that, 200 centimeters equals to multiply by 10, 2000 millimeters, right? Yeah, posted it in the group, in the chat as well. If you try to calculate it through the table, first convert centimeters into meter and then meter into millimeter, this will give you the same answer. But the trick here is that I wanted to show you is that just memorize that there are 10 millimeter in 1 centimeter. That's it. Okay, for the millimoles, is that clear? Millimole is just like any other unit on the table. To go from mole into millimole, multiply it by 1000. So this is going to be 20 millimole. Right, I'm moving forward. I think we have taken enough time for this slide. Okay, one more. Wait a second, one more. Convert MEQ into EQ, that is equivalent. Okay, good, nice work everyone who are sending us answer in the chat. .05 MEQ. So we just have to divide it by 1000. We want to go one step ahead, one step above. So we will divide it by 1000. So 50 divided by 1000 is going to be 0.05 MEQ. These are some very basics just to test out our knowledge that we have learned from last slides. So I'm moving forward. Congrats,
Yes.
everyone who have learned it. So this was the basic conversions section. Now we are going into the percentage sections. So percentage is going to be one step trickier than the basic conversions. So be ready for that, guys. So percentage have a very simple percentage calculation formula. As we all know, there is, for example, there is 70 ml of some solute in 100 ml solvent. So we can multiply it by 100 to get the percentage, that how much percentage of the solute is there in the solution. This is very simple formula, pretty basic one. So the solute is here, small value of the content of a preparation is here, larger value of total preparation is here, and then multiplied by 100. This is the constant. 100 is a constant to convert it into a percentage. So 70%. Anybody have any question regarding this formula? Because we are going to stand some things on this formula. I think everyone should, yeah, already know this. Okay, the next thing is, now that we have calculated percentage from giving this formula two values, we can give any two values out of three and we can calculate. Yeah, it's simple, thank you. And we can calculate the third value from it, right? Like we are calculating the percentage, we are giving it 70 and we are giving it total volume 100 and it's giving us 70% percentage. And we can also have a percentage given to the formula and the total volume of the solution. It will give us the concentration or the volume of solute in it. In the same way, we can also find out the total volume of a preparation by giving it these two values. Take a screenshot of this if you want to. Okay, so this is the very basic formula for the percentage calculation. If you are given two values, you can find the third value. And trust me, you will need this formula in a lot of questions in KAPs. So you should be make your own shortcuts of these formulas because everyone will make their own shortcuts. I had mine. May be hard for you to understand. So make your own formulas for this. Okay, the next we are going after very simple solutions of percentages, then we will move into weight by volume thing, and then we will go into the part per million. There are quite some questions about part per million or part per 1000, part per billion, anything. So this is not a constant part per million. This could be part per 100, part per 1000. So we will see all of that. So moving forward into the simple solutions of percentages. Okay, simple solutions. Okay, we all know that 90% of 100% is 90 ml, right? We all know this. 90% of 100 ml, even a child can say it's 90 ml. So it's good, fine. But what happens when we go into complex things like 37% of 78 ml? Nobody can calculate it directly in their heads. And even if you go to the calculator right now and try to calculate it, many of you will stuck. Try it. 37% of 78 ml. How much mLs are those?
14.06.
Okay, let's try. So we have different answers coming in. Try it easily. Take your time. I am giving you 1 minute to do this. Do this on your calculators. So इरफान भाई क्या डिजिट आ रहा है ज्यादा चैट के अंदर?
28.86.
Yes, sir. Yeah, 28.
So that's good. So we are going into detail of that for those who do not know this, how to do this. So this is another example. 13% of 48 ml is going to be tricky a bit. So we will take 13% of 48 ml as an example, and I will show you how to do this quickly for those who don't know. First of all, convert this 13% in your mind, not on calculators. Okay, good everyone, 28.86, that's it. So 13% converted in your mind into 0.13, because we know that percentage means 13 divided by 100. So if we divide 13 by 100, it's very simple. Right now the dot is here, so bring it two spots on the left. So this is going to give us 0.13. 0.13. So 13% corresponds to 0.13. If you type 13% sign in your calculators and it is equal to, it is going to give you 0.13. Anybody have confusion in this? This is going to be used a lot in KAPs. Only this step. Okay, 13%. Yeah, it's very easy. So we need to keep this in the center of our ears.
Yes, sir. This trick is very easy.
Okay, so for example, we have to convert 37%. This would be 0.37, right? 0.37. 90%, 0.9. That's it. So then we will multiply it by 48. Okay, on calculator, we do not say 13% or something how to calculate. Forget about that. Just convert this in your head. 0.13, multiply it by the volume of which we are calculating, which is 48. So the answer will be 6.42. Is this the right answer? Calculate it on your calculators, please.
6.2.
I might be wrong, so calculate it, guys. Hopefully I am right. 6.24. So we are moving forward. We are in the middle of the presentation yet. Hey. So let's move one step forward and let's talk the common percentages. So this is a table given in our notes which says please mute your mics. Okay, we have these four words here: weight by weight, weight by volume, volume by volume, volume by weight. This is actually a mix-up of weight and volume. So there are four possibilities of this happening: weight by weight, weight by volume, volume by volume, volume by weight. So this is pretty simple. There are only four possibilities here which are written on the screen. So what does this mean by 1% weight by weight? We will take this as an example, and we can see that this means 1 gram of solid, because this is weight, in 100 gram of product, this which is also weight, because we are talking weight by weight. The thing to concentrate on here is about the units. What are the units? The units here are gram and ml. Whichever value we take, volume by weight or weight by volume, this is going to be in gram and ml. And one thing for sure, percentage means out of 100. So we are saying that 1 gram of this thing in 100 gram of this thing, or 1 gram of this thing in 100 ml of other thing, or 1 ml of one thing into 100 grams of other thing. So this is also very simple, but a lot of questions comes in the group which requires solving this as well. So be clear with your concepts, guys. So in this table, it says 1%. This could be higher. The notes are from the elite group. Okay, wait a second, I like to admit on. Okay, now this percentage is going up. This is not going to be 1% always. This can be 33%, 20%, 99%. So if this is 99%, this means 90 gram of something into 90 gram of the other thing, or diluent thing. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, it is clear. Sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do a quiz then. What is 10 gram of aspirin in 100 ml mixture? What will be the weight by volume? It's very simple. Just we can go in our heads. 10 gram of aspirin in 100 ml mixture. Is this going to be 10%? Yes, 10%. Make the sign mark 10%. Although this is an MCQ, so we do not need to worry about small things. So this is 10% weight by volume, right? So let me trick you here. Just like our books do, they insert a difficult question in easy ones. So what is this going to be? 10 gram of aspirin in 120 ml mixture. What is going to be the weight by volume? How do you calculated it?
If 10 gram is in 120 ml, how much grams will be in 100 ml?
Yes, this is the right approach, because we have to find out how much of this is in 100 ml of the mixture instead of this 120 ml, because the percentage means from 100, and this is a very common question and very tricky question in KAPs exam. You might miss that, so I suggest you keep an eye on that.
Please repeat.
Okay, I'll repeat. Because the percentage means out of 100, just like we can see in this table, we are saying 1 gram out of 100 gram, 1 gram out of 100 ml. So this thing in the denominator, that says, I mean 1% weight by weight, the last weight must be 100. This must be made 100 to calculate the percentage, because percentage is out of 100. So in the upper question, I said that 10 gram of aspirin in 100 ml. This was simple, very simple, out of 100. So the KAPs is not going to give you this 100. They are going to give you a different value. They are going to give you 120, 350, whatever. So you have to use cross multiplication here. Cross multiplication is also simple, that we can say that if we have 10 gram of aspirin in 120 ml mixture, how much grams or X gram in 100 ml? First, we need to do this. We need to find out how many grams of aspirin are in 100 ml, and then we can calculate the further steps of finding the percentage. Anybody have problem with the cross multiplication?
So another way is like remove the zeros, whatever zeros are in both denominators and upper value and the lower value, you have to cut the zeros. So answer will be directly.
Shahid Bhai, is it right?
Yes, dear. Just joined you now. So I'm going to join.
How are you, Shahid Bhai? Shahid Bhai, this you are saying it right. We can do it that way, because I'm not up to complicating things at this stage. I'm not going into that step. The thing I want to say was just that you need to get the concentration out of 100 ml. There are a lot of ways to do this, complex ways, easy ways. Everybody will have their own ways. But in the end, what we need is how much gram of aspirin out of 100 ml. Okay, and then we can find the percentage. We cannot find the percentage out of 120 ml state. So what do people are saying in the comments, Irfan bhai? They know the cross multiplication?
Yes, sir, they are now.
Okay.
They
Okay,
know.
then most of these are no. Okay. Okay, this could be a problem.
Some people want to explain that.
Okay, let's get into this after this presentation, because I have not prepared a slide for that, and it's not possible for me to go outside and make a new one right now. So we will discuss it after this presentation. For now, just keep in mind that we need to convert any other mLs other than 100 into 100. This may be more than 100 ml given, or they may give us 37 ml, 20 ml. They can give us lower mLs, lower than 100 too. So we need to cross multiply and see how much of this substance is in 100 ml. Only and only then we are going to calculate the percentage. This concept is clear. Is it clear? I will go into the cross multiplications after this presentation.
Yes,
but
sir.
now
Yes.
just know that we need to calculate percentage of the 100 ml or 100 gram of the mixture.
Yes, it's clear. Thank you.
So moving forward with this, so important thing here to note is, and do not confuse it in the exam or in during the practice, that the units are gram and ml. They are not liter, they are gram and ml. Is this clear to everyone? So make sure whatever thing you do, whatever formula you memorize, you will be memorizing a lot of formulas with me about the mass and volume conversion, moles. So be mindful of these units. Some of the formulas have different units with them. So here with these formulas, we use gram in ml. It is very easy to get tricked with. Gram per ml. Okay, you want to take screenshot of the slide, this is the time. Okay, moving forward. Now with the part per whatever, when you will start studying, you will see part per million only, but this is not the case. When you will move forward with the calculations, they may say part per 100, part per 1,000, part per million, billion, trillion, zillion, whatever they say. You have to solve it. So what is the concept behind this part per? Someone's microphone is not on mute. I request you to check all your microphones and mute them. So what is the thing, the idea behind part per? So let's start with the part per 100. So with the part per 100 thing, we can say that there is same units are going to be used here, gram and ml. So part per 100 means 1 gram of any substance. So the question comes like ppm or part per million of aspirin or part per million of chloride, fluorine, something like this. Okay, so 1 gram of fluorine, for example, in 100 ml, because this is part per 100. So 1 gram in 100 ml. So next thing is about the 1,000, part per 1,000. So same, very simple, 1 gram in 1,000 ml. Now this is the most common one, part per million. So million have 6 zeros with it. It means 10 lakh. So 1 gram in 10 lakh. This is the most common one used, but if they give you part per 1,000 at 100, you should know how to manage that. This is Mr. Abdul Aziz. Your microphone is not on here. Please do us a favor. Okay. So there is a very simple calculation you should have in your mind. You should not use calculator for this.
Sami, what you can do, you can click on a option which is called mute all. So it will actually mute everyone. If you use that option, there's On the chat box, you can see that under the bottom it says mute on. Could you please, that will actually switch off everyone's mic.
Okay, sir.
I cannot do that because all the rights are with you for the host.
Okay, wait a second. I am also doing this first time, sir. Please.
Yes. Can you see the names of the everyone, like all the participants? In the bottom, it says
Yeah, mute all, mute all. Yes, sir.
Sir, you are muted.
Okay, I muted myself too. Sorry, guys. Okay, focus on this part of the presentation, this part of the page now. Most of the times, we will be encountering the part per million that says 1 gram in 1 million ml. And they want us to convert to percentage weight by volume. This is a kind of question you should expect in your KAPs exam. Everyone should. There are a lot of questions in their pool, and I myself have encountered this one. So this says, you should, what I suggest is that you should do all of these calculations in your head and not on your calculators to save time. And this is easy. The part per million means 1 gram in 1 million ml. So naturally, if we convert it into mg, milligram, we divide it by 1000 on both hands. So this is going to be 1 milligram in 1000 ml. Simple. And then, because this is going to be the same digit, 1, just convert it to mg. Now it's in ml, 1000 ml, and we are going to convert it into 100 just by moving this dot one step on the left. Just do this in your head. Whenever you have this kind of question, part per million, you have to shred it down in most of the cases. So do it. So 1 gram, convert it into 1 mg, that means 1000, and bring this decimal point to 1 point to the left, because this may be like 37.2 grams. So just move the decimal 1 point to the left and change gram to mg. You are going to see how much of this concentration in 100 ml. This is step 1. Now the next step to convert it into weight by volume, which they will be asking, they will need to convert, you will need to convert this mg into grams. Make sense? Because the units we see for this to calculate this percentage weight by volume are gram and ml. So this 100 now stays the same. We just need to convert this, whatever it makes, 0.1 mg into grams. So these are going to be 3 more zeros on the left. So doesn't matter. Don't care about that. So I will repeat it one more time. So there are 2 steps. First one, whenever you encounter part per million in your head, just make the decimal point 1 to the left and consider it as an mg. This would be how much of concentration of the amount in 100 ml. Then we have to leave 100 ml alone, just leave it and convert this mg into grams. Just divide it by 1000. So this would be converted into gram. That would be the percentage weight by volume. The answer will be. Make sense? Now, this is something I'm expecting some questions on this topic. (001), that's good. Are you guys able to unmute yourself?
Yes.
Or I have, okay.
Can unmute.
So you got
Yes, I can.
Okay, who is doing this putting lines on the screens? Okay, thank you. So if this is not clear, take a screenshot and watch this part of the video. You will get a good idea. Recording on, see who's this.
Sir,
Okay. Yes,
hello?
somebody have any question?
Sir, I have a question. If we go for gram into kg, so we will divide 1 gram into 1000.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, moving forward. Okay, let's take a quick quiz. Convert 30 ppm part per million to percentage weight by volume. Go, you have 1 full minute. Okay, somebody is intentionally making lines on the screen. He's making stars. Please don't do that.
There must be someone who is a scammer. Maybe enter into this Zoom meeting. You need to just check. Maybe if you find someone not
sir.
known, you need to like
annotations for
yes, so that happens sometime when we share our Zoom link to lots of groups. I think I shared
Yes, sir.
many groups. I think someone is doing some sort of shararat. Yes.
Let me check, sir.
Yes, so
एक्टिविटीज आप कर रहे हैं, आपको स्कैम करेंगे और सामी भाई को किडनैप करेंगे, पता है?
नहीं आप मुन्ना भाई की सल्तनत और उनके चक्कर में कोई भी नहीं ऐसा कर सकता। आई डोंट थिंक सो। मुन्ना भाई अगर एक्शन में आ गए तो फिर सबकी वाट लग जाएगी।
नहीं तो डॉन बैठे हुए वहां पे, डॉने कोने अपने पारो के जो थे, क्या थे वो, शाहरुख खान वो टेकल कर देंगे सबको।
So I'll emotionally blackmail them. So I think it's time to move.
100 लोग इस वक्त जूम में हैं आपके साथ और इस वक्त 25 जो हैं वो यूट्यूब पे हैं, तो इतनी ज्यादा डिमांड है इस सारी नॉलेज की जो आप दे रहे हैं।
The demand is actually of you, sir. Your demand is there, sir. Okay, everyone. Sir, if you may, we can move forward. Okay, moving forward to the next slide. Okay, now we have taken care of the percentages. Okay, someone is continuously doing so. Okay, let them. We are now done with the percentages. These are the basics of the percentages. Now the main topic of my presentation is the alligation method. This is heart and soul, pith and marrow of this presentation. And this is a tricky one, where yet I will try my best to make it simple. So the alligation method, when we use alligation method, when we have two different concentrations and we like to have a middle concentration out of these. For example, in a pharmacy, I have 70% ethanol and a 20% ethanol solution. So I want to make 50% ethanol solution. So how much will I take from both of these compound solutions we have available in our pharmacy? So this is where we use alligation method. This is the simple explanation of it, and let me show you how we do this. So we have a concentration 1. Concentration 1, for example, is 70%. Then we have second concentration. So these are the solutions we have prepared at our disposal. We can use whatever quantity we like. There is no limitation on that. So what we want is, we want 50% to be made, right? We have one 70% concentration, second 30% concentration, and we want to make 50% concentration. So what we will do, the first step is to, we are going to minus things now here. We are going to take 70 minus 50, and this will come as 20, right? So keep this as the way you want. This is down, so we minus this, the value that's down from the upper one. So 70 minus 50 comes 20, right? Easy. So the next step is to do this, but we will do this in quite a different way. So this 50 is up above and this 30 is below. So we are going to do 50 minus 30, and we will be writing the answer here 20 as well. So the value which is above, the 70 is above, so we minus 50 from 70, and same is the case, we minus 30 from 50, and the answer is 20. 70 minus 50 is 20, and 50 minus 30 is also 20. This might not be the case that you will get same values here, and most of the cases you won't. Okay, so whatever the value is, write it down. 70 minus 50 comes 20, and 50 minus 30 comes 20. Next part, we are going to add these two digits, 20 and 20. Whatever they are, they may be 17, 83, whatever they are. Okay, this 20 and this 20 comes 40. So we are going to divide both of these by 40. Right? One step forward moving. In the questions, in a lot of questions, we were given the required final quantity, and that's 50 ml. In this case, as an example. So they will give you a final quantity. Okay, we make sense. We need to make a prescription solution. So we will make it. Okay, some quantity we will have in our mind that we are going to make this much quantity. So we are making in this, for example, in this example, 50 ml. So what are we going to do with this 50 ml? We are going to multiply this with 50 ml. So what's happening here? We are already we have already found the factor here, 20 by 40. 20 by 40. If we only calculate this, this will give us what, 0.5? I guess yani means 0.5 means 50% of this solution and 50% of this solution. So some questions end here, just end here. They don't give the final quantity. They just want you to solve that what fraction of which compound we are going to use to get 50% desired concentration. So we will say, okay, this is same 20 by 40, 20 by 40. You calculate it, I think you will get 0.5. 0.5 means both 0.5 means 50% of one and 50% of other solution. So we are going to finish that question on this step. But if they say that, okay, we have to make a final quantity of 50 ml, of 500 ml, of 475 ml, whatever, just multiply it. We are just multiplying the factor with the final volume. If this makes sense to you, we are just multiplying the factor with the final volume. Don't take it that seriously if you don't want to. This is just about the concept. So this is the allegation method. I'll come again. We have one concentration that's 70%, for example, and other is 30%. And always in these questions, we will be having a middle value here desired, because if this is 120%, we cannot have that. So this will be in between these two values. And another thing to notice here is that we can use as much of the 70% as much of the 30% solution. There will be a restriction in upcoming questions, but now there is none. Okay, moving forward. So the first step we are going to do is 70 minus 50 comes 20. Next, 50 minus 30 comes 20 again. So we have combined, added both 20 and 20 gives 40. So we divided by 40. So we now have a final volume to make. So we multiply it by whatever the final volume we are going to achieve. So the answer, I have not written it there because of the space, but if you find out, this is going to be the same. Which implies that we need to use in this example same quantity of both solutions. If we add 10 ml, 10 ml, it's going to give us 50 ml of the solution. So I have more complex things going on in the right hand slides, any questions on this allegation method? This is the basic.
Why do you subtract 50 from 70 and not 50 from 30?
This is the way it has to be. Just simply memorize it. 70 minus 50 comes 20, and then 50 minus 30 goes 20. And the upper portion of this, all of these equation, it belongs to this 70% solution. Okay, the upper portion belongs to this 70%. So whatever the answer is going to be, it's about 70% solution. So why we are doing all of these? We are doing this, we minusing 30 from 50. It's just a part of the allegation method. Memorize it. Any other question? No. This means this can mean two things: that nobody have understood anything.
Nobody have understood.
This nobody have understood.
Sir, one question, sir. We have to add both values, upper and lower, to get the result.
We have to no. The question is going to be how much of the 70% solution we will need to add to make 50% concentration. So we will give the answer of just the upper equation, because they are asking about the upper equation, 70% solution. So we will give the answer of the upper equation.
If
they okay, come again.
I have a question. If concentration 2, assuming it's 80%, is it still going to follow the same procedure? Are we still going to subtract?
No, very good idea. Very good point you have raised here. I missed it. So the concentration we are putting on the top. How are we deciding that we are going to put 70% here and not here? 30% can come here, but no. Very good point. You have make me memorize that. So 70%, why is 70% above? Because it's a bigger value than 30%. So which one of this is bigger? It's coming on the top. If this is 100%, this should not be here. This should be on the top. We should shuffle it. We should write 100 here and 70% here.
Okay.
So is there any other thing in your question?
No, I get it. So the bigger value.
Sir, if the concentration are 3, then the same formula are putting in the allegation method.
I couldn't understand you. Please say a bit slowly.
Sir, if the concentration of 3, then same formula will apply in allegation method.
If the concentrations are same?
No, if the concentration are 1 and 2, then 3 concentration are provided in the question.
I couldn't understand you. Please elaborate more. These are the concentrations we are going to talk about, right? The initial concentrations.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what about these? For example, this first concentration, what about this?
Sir, my doubt is if the concentration in their PPT is 2 now, if the concentration is other question, there are 3 concentration. The same formula method is applied.
अब उर्दू बोल सकते हैं ना? अब उर्दू में मुझे समझाएं, मुझे ना इंग्लिश में समझ नहीं आ रही.
सर अगर concentration अगर जो आपके साइड में है concentration 1 and concentration 2.
हाँ जी.
तो अगर इस जगह पे concentration 3 concentration रहा तो ये same allegation method यूज करेंगे.
नहीं, दोबारा बताइए, यहाँ पे क्या concentration रही?
सर three types of concentration. Concentration 1, concentration 2 and 3.
नहीं, 3 के लिए allegation यूज नहीं होता. वो we can use common sense for that, because there is also a common sense way to solve this. Do not expect that question in the exam. And if you want to, this is not in our notes, maybe you can find something on the YouTube. So allegation method is about 2. We can solve this thing from common sense as well, because we can do everything to save time. So that's why we are learning this allegation method. There is another way to do the same using our common sense, and I believe this is where we can use as many concentrations as we like.
Hello,
So
sir.
this was
a question.
Yes, please.
It's happened there. So the concentration 1 and 2 all together will be 100% all the time, or it should be the different numbers as well, like
This could be
60
different.
plus. Okay,
This could be
60
different.
plus 60. Yeah, it could be 120 as well, like the total concentration 1 and 2.
No, no,
we
no.
can
60
add.
plus 60 won't be in question, because I'm telling you that we will have two concentrations, just like 70 and 30, and we will have a desired concentration in between those two. So if we have 60% as concentration 1, 60% as concentration 2, then there is no purpose of using this alligation method. So one will be higher, one will be lower, and the desired concentration will be somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Don't mention. Acha. Okay. If anybody have to repeat this, please repeat this in the video, in the recording video. I'm moving forward with the simple questions. Now there are two simple type of allegation questions you will encounter. What will be given is, for example, 20% salicylic acid in some solvent. Some solvent. It may be water, it may be alcohol. Just keep it simple and say solvent. Okay. 20% salicylic acid in solvent, and the next thing they will give is simple solvent. They won't mention any percentage of this solvent. And anybody can tell me what will be the percentage of this solvent? Just like we have 20% salicylic acid here, what is the percentage we are going to use
80.
for the solvent?
And it may be 80.
80.
Yeah, I will reinforce my previous point that
20 gram in 100 ml.
no. This I'm not talking about the 20%. I'm asking to I'm asking that
80 ml, 80 ml.
How much percentage we will take, because we need two percentages, right? 1% to write above and 1% to write below. So what will we write below for the solvent?
100.
Yeah, 80%.
Ideally 80%.
Ideally. So let's clear another concept here. If this is going to be the solvent, this problem is going to be the solvent, means diluent. So we will use 0 here, because there is no concentration of salicylic acid in plain solvent, right? This is plain solvent, just water, for example. So there is no salicylic acid. We are going to make, okay, just wait for the next step. We are going to make 5% salicylic acid, right? This is the total question. Now we have 20% salicylic acid in some solution, and we have in some solvent, or in the same solvent, we can add in the same solvent, and we have to make 5% concentration out of it. So let me just go a few steps forward. We will take 20% of this salicylic acid percentage, because percentage is given. Now that the percentage is not given with the solvent, and there is no concentration of salicylic acid right now in this solvent, so we will take 0%. If this is solute, if they say that we have pure salicylic acid and they don't give us any percentage, that means 100, because that's 100% pure salicylic acid, right? These both might be the case in this type of question. Nothing to confuse with. Just see that this is solvent, plain solvent. Understand the upper part of the question. 20% salicylic acid in some solvent, and they will say the same solvent, use the same solvent to make the percentage 5%. This would be the same. This will always be the same. They won't change it. So, but they don't mention any percentage with it. So what I'm trying to say is that if you find a solvent in here, you will see that 20% salicylic acid in this compound, and they will say that, okay, you can use more this compound to make 5%, means same solvent. So this solvent will have 0% initially. And if this is pure salicylic acid, they say that yes, you can make, you can add salicylic acid, then this will be 100%, because salicylic acid is 100% pure in that case. So moving forward, I will repeat this one more time. What we will do is same thing, 20 minus 5 is going to be 15. And now again, 5 minus 0 is going to be 5. 5 minus 0 is 5, we all know. So the next step, we know we have to add up both of these numbers, 5 and 15, and divide it by 20. So divided by 20, because the 15 and 5 makes up to 20. So the next step, We know that this gives us a factor 0.25. Just calculate this: 5 divided by 20, 15 divided by 20, 15 divided by 20. This is going to 0.75. Now, from if they are asking for just how much percentage or what of this substance we will use, they will ask for one of these. Okay, how much of 20% salicylic acid will be utilized, and how much or how much of the solvent will be utilized. If they are asking about the factor only, that they are not giving us any final volume, and by the options you will understand they are not asking about any ml, they are just asking about the factor. Now this is common sense, that we can see this is 0.25 and 0.75. This means 1/4 and this means 3/4. I mean, if
Sir,
we
what
divide,
is the unit of these factor?
there is no unit of the factor, there is just parts. Okay, 1 part this and 3 part this, 0.25 and 0.75.
Okay, so what will be the final volume of the solution?
Okay, coming forward for that. Now at this step, if they are asking for just the factor, any factor like or parts, we can say, so we know by the common sense that 0.25 and 0.75 will make 1 and 3. Out of 4, they will make 1 and 3 part. 1 part 1 part of 20% salicylic acid in solvent, and 3 parts of solvent. If we combine these, we are going to get our desired concentration, that's 5%. Don't worry, I will repeat this again. Okay, now if we are about to find any final volume, like they ask about the final volume of 20% salicylic acid, how much volume of 20% salicylic acid will be used? So we can then multiply it by that volume. This is the final volume of the solution, and the answer will be, I think I have not calculated the answer here, but the answer will be in ml now, that this much ml of 20% salicylic acid is required to make the concentration 5%. They will ask for only one of these. So the upper part of the equation belongs to the upper side preparation, and lower side towards the lower side preparation. Now, how many of you thinks that I should repeat this?
Can you just repeat the concept of this 0% again? And
Yeah,
can you
surely.
just tell me that what will be, in the given statement? Like, for example, there's a question. So the question will be like, there's a 20% of salicylic and solvent, and how much will be the salicylic in the final concentration is 5%. Is it a question something like this? Because if we just tell
Okay.
us the questions, then we will
Yeah.
know that, okay, this is given, and then we have to implement something. So it
Okay.
will give us more clarity.
Okay, better. Okay, so these two things on the left side are part of the question. Let's in your mind change this into water solvent. Okay, 20% salicylic acid in water. They will say this clearly. They will mention the solvent, name of the solvent, the 20% salicylic acid in water, and they will say that, okay, we want to make 5% out of this. So you can add more solvent to it. You can add more water to this, just make 5% solution. So what they will give us are three things, sorry. One will be this 20% salicylic acid in water. Second thing, they will tell you that we need to have 5% concentration. And third thing, what we can add is the solvent. These three things will be given. 20% salicylic acid, the solvent, then the required concentration, and then the solvent. This would be the solvent, and same solvent in all the questions that I have seen.
All right. So if it is a solvent, then as you said, so the solvent has no concentration, so we will write it as 0. And if they tell us 20%, for example, 20% salicylic acid in 2% of HCl, right? Then there will be a
No, they won't say
concentration of.
that. They won't say that.
Right.
They will give you the simple solvent. The solvent won't be in any concentration. The concentration would be different. So this would be a different part, 20% salicylic acid in a solvent, and then solvent is going to be different. Okay, let me give you a glimpse of the next portion. So it will be more clear to you now. The other scenario is going to be And this is
Sorry,
going to
can I
be,
add something?
yes, Shahid bhai.
I want to add one thing. This the procedure you have given. It's perfect. It's excellent. I will just add one thing for clearance, that how we will know that the solvent that B is 0 or 100. There is a trick in this allegation method. See, whenever they give the question, they will give part A and they will give part C. Okay, maybe they will not give part B, but they will definitely give part A and part C. So as Sami bhai told us that the given parts are in the portion of A and B. Okay, so in this case, like in this equation, 20% is A and 0% is B. And the required one will be in between of both, that is C. When you read the question that they are asking how much part or how much percentage is required, so whatever value they are giving, according to that, opposite of that, how much, that will be part C. Okay, and when they are giving some value, that from 20% of salicylic acid, it means we have stock solution of 20% salicylic acid in our pharmacy. And now how much milliliter or how much percentage, they will ask whether volume or whether they will ask the percentage. Okay, so that we will have to determine. Now there is a very simple rule. If A is bigger than C, okay, in this case, in this equation, you are looking 20% is bigger than 5%, where 20% is A and 5 is C. When A is bigger than C, and so B will be 0. Okay, this is rule of the allegation method. When A is bigger than C, B will be 0 if B is not giving. Okay, now make it opposite. If A is smaller than C, for example, our A is 5% and our C is 100%. When A is smaller than C, our B will be 100. So this, just remember this value, this rule. If A
All
is
right.
bigger than C,
So
B will
let
be
me
0.
just repeat it and just correct me if I'm wrong. So if concentration 1 is bigger than the final concentration that we need to find, then the concentration B will be 0, right?
No. The concentration that is given, the given will be in A and B. Okay, this is clear.
Yeah.
Okay, A and B, like 20% is A, 0% is not given. The B is not given in this one. They have given us A and C. Okay, C is required, that how much volume of 5% you will make. That is required. We have to make some volume from 5% of this equation. A is given, C is given. These both will be given always. So now just see that if A is bigger than C, we will put a 0, B will be 0. And if A is smaller than C, our B will be 100. Just write now this note on your copy. So whenever the allegation method is there, you will directly go to this method and you will solve it. And other process, the way the Sami bhai has told, that is also very, very easy process. The Sami bhai has told us.
अस्सलाम शायद भाई आपने बड़ा अच्छा एक्सप्लेन किया, बट इन माय ओपिनियन आपको ये एक एग्जांपल दे देना एग्जैक्टली जो क्वेश्चन है इसका, तो मेरे ख्याल से शायद ज्यादा क्लियर हो जाएगा सबके लिए.
Okay, guys, let's just do this. Shahid bhai, let me just complete 2 more examples. I think the things will be clear then. Okay, then we can see what's left of it, so we can discuss after this slide. We have 2 more examples coming up. So the next example is like this. This is a type of question you can get in exam. Now they will say 20% salicylic acid in some solvent, and second concentration is 10% salicylic acid in a solvent. In the upper question, that was difficult. Now this one is the easy one, because they have given both of the concentrations. They have given us 20% salicylic acid, they have given 10% salicylic acid. Now it's easy, right? We don't have to worry about the 0% or 100%. That was easy though. Okay, let's move on with this second question. Now we have 20% and 10%, and they say that we need to make 15% out of this. Kindly mind these 10% and 20%, this won't be the same in the exam. This would be different, and this would be different as well. Okay, so we make 15% out of this. How we write here 20%, and 10% here of this, out of this 10%, and to reinforce the idea that because this 20% is higher than 10%, so that's why we are writing it on the top. Okay, we cannot write 10 on the top. So to solve this, we do the same. 20 minus 15 is going to be 5. Now 15 minus 10 is going to be also 5. So combine or gather these two, add these two, this would be 10. So we will divide it both by 10. And this is going to give us a factor. If this is about the factor, the multiplication factor or the portion question, that's it. We are done. We can say that this is 50% contribution of both of these substances to make 15%. In case they have given you any final volume, so we will multiply this factor by final volume. So this will give us the final answer. Okay, so whatever thing they are asking about this upper preparation. So the upper portion equation will be the answer, right? So same with the lower equation. This one is the simple one. The first one we discussed was the tricky one, because we have to manage this 0% or 100%. So with my idea, I can tell you that if they are giving you salicylic acid, to add more salicylic acid, and they are not giving you any percentage, so this would be definitely 100% concentrated solution, right? Because we have only salicylic acid in it. If they are asking us to add more solvent, so solvent is of course free of the salicylic acid, right? So this is going to be 0%. So what you can do is actually a very good idea I have in my mind, that you do this with we do this with this solvent here. So write 100%. So 100%. Okay, I'm just leaving it on to you that 100% will come here or above. So do this as a practice, because you have to do some calculations on your part too, right? To go to the questions, you have to do some things on your part too. So take this as an assignment. So the elite members here can share the answer in the elite group, and I'll answer it, and others can jump into the YouTube question session. I will keep an eye on that. So moving forward, there is one more. Okay.
So at the end, which you write 50 ml, from where we get 50 ml?
50 ml is from the question. If they ask that how much, that we have to make total of 50 ml. All of these 50 ml things are coming if we are given that we have
what
to
will
prepare
be the
50
final
ml
quantity of the solution? 100 ml?
No, not 100 ml. These are separate equations running, okay? The above one is separate and below one is separate. This answer, for example, for the upper equation, this belongs to this 20% salicylic acid in solvent. So this is going to be 25 ml, right? 0.5 multiplied by 50 is going to be 25 ml. So 25 ml is going to be 20% salicylic acid, and same here, because the answer is 25 ml is going to be of this compound. So they will combine up to form this 50 ml, only 50 ml. 50 ml is going to be our final volume. So that's why we are multiplying it. Okay, how many of the persons here have got the idea? Because I have one more thing to go, one more example to go. When we will go there, we will repeat the same things. And if still someone is confusing the basic idea, I will go to the previous slide where we have discussed the basic idea there. Okay, the first question we saw was about 1% was not given and the other percentage was given, right? 1% was given, 1% was not given. We guessed it because it's a solvent. Okay, the second question was about both percentages given. So this was the easiest one. You would be the lucky to get this kind of question. Okay, both of these are given. Now in our upcoming next question, that is going to be tricky, a bit tricky, just a bit tricky. One thing to notice in these questions from this screen is that we can use whatever quantity we want for these compounds. In the upper question, we can use whatever quantity of the solvent. For example, we have a gallon of this in our pharmacy. So we can, we do not have any restriction on us that we have 50 ml of the solvent or what. Now the next question is about a restriction. And that question I actually had in my KAPs exam. I knew the technique. This took me about 30 seconds to solve that. It was just about the calculator and my hands, and that's it. So here in these questions, these compounds are not limited. These are unlimited supply. We can use whichever quantity we want, right? Everyone got this idea that we can use any quantity of these substances to make solutions. There is no restriction in the question. Everybody, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the next question. That's the tricky
Sir,
one.
सर ये जो है
Yes.
डिसाइड क्वांटिटी है वो 50 ml हमें गिवन है दोनों क्वेश्चन में, ये आपने ऊपर किया और एक नीचे किया है.
हाँ जी, वो गिवन होती है.
ओके.
Okay. Next question is more about understanding the concept of that part. And as I have got this in my KAPs exam, expect this one. There is a question like this in their pool, so you can counter it too. So take a look at this question. How many grams of salicylic acid? Now, what is this? Is this a solute or a solvent?
The solvent. Solute.
Solute. Yes. Okay, this is concentrated. So what are we going to say about this percentage? 0% or 100%?
100.
100%. Yes. How many grams of salicylic acid? This is the question. Okay, just for now, get into the question. How many grams of salicylic acid they are asking? Okay, we are going to calculate that. Okay, the next thing this give us is 4% salicylic acid ointment. This is already prepared 64-gram tube. So we have a tube. This is, for an example, they're not gonna say that this is in a tube. So I'm telling you that just keep this in mind, that we have a tube of 4% salicylic acid. This is 64 grams. Okay, we have this. And the second thing they are giving us is the active ingredient, salicylic acid. Now they want us to make 10%. And why are we keeping this salicylic acid above and 4% salicylic acid down?
100 is bigger than 4%.
100 is bigger, yes, because I did this myself. Okay, this is not going to be in the question. Question is going to be in a full statement. What's going to happen when you will go into the questions? You will know that what information you have to translate on your answer sheet, how, which concentration is going up and which concentration is going down. Okay, so let's solve it. This 64% is going to be a problem because now there is a limitation. Very simple trick. I will show you how to do this. So there's 100% salicylic acid. That's the natural. Okay, the 4% comes out of this 4% salicylic acid. We try to solve it now, and we will get stuck at some point. 100 minus 10 is going to be 90. Now 10 minus 4 is going to be 6. We add both of these, we will get 96. Right? Clear up till this step? Because this is pretty basic.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now there is something interesting. Thank you. What I have done here is combined two steps. Let me show you how from our previous slides. When I was writing this 0.5, I mean calculating this 5 by 10, calculating it 0.5, then multiplying it with the final volume. This was just for your understanding, right? And this was because some questions just ask for this factor, by which, or the parts, just they ask for the part. For the next question, I am going to skip this part because they are asking us how many grams. So they are not asking about any parts. So what I will do, I will just do 5 divided by 10 multiply by 50 ml, right? So I will shorten this step. So I will skip the 0.5 factor conclusion. Okay.
Yes.
Anyone have any, should not have any confusion. I am skipping this calculation step. I will simply multiply this 5 by 10 into final solution. Multiply by. Now this is going to be a bit tricky here. Of salicylic acid was the question. So this, what comes here is unfindable. This is going to be the different from other previous questions because of this 64%, because we have a limitation. Okay, let's just go to the brass tacks and let me show you how to do this. Whenever you are given a final concentration of some ingredient, both of these, any of these, what you will do, you will write, you will do some reverse calculations. Now this 64 gram is telling us this final volume is 64 grams, right? We have to use this 64 grams. In the previous questions, we were finding this mass, and now they have given us 64 grams. So do me a favor and write this 64 gram here, leave this blank empty, and find this out using these 3 values, right? Just like percentage, we can have a few values and we can calculate the remaining one. So we are going to calculate 60%. The value of this. Wait a second, let me just rearrange this.
Please repeat this from where you got this 64 gram?
64 gram was in the question. Yes, 64 gram was in the question, and the question clearly states that actually, we have 4% salicylic acid ointment.
Thing is why the things are getting so confused. In my opinion, the things are getting confused just because we don't have the statement. If you write down the statement or give the statement first and then solve the question, I think the thing would be more clear.
Okay, I don't have that at the moment.
Yes,
what
I
you
didn't
can
get this
do is
from
you
where
can
you got the 64 gram.
okay, let me just clear things. We have these 3 things given in our equation, right? They will ask how many grams of salicylic acid. What do we want? 10% is required, 10% concentration is required, and another thing we have is 4% salicylic acid ointment prepared, that is 64 grams. These 3 things we have in our question, and that's it. You can make a statement out of this right away. I can make a statement for you. How many grams of salicylic acid is required to make 10% of the solution, or 10% concentration, when we have 4% salicylic acid ointment, 64 grams. Work for you? How many grams of salicylic acid will be required to make 10% concentration when we have 4% salicylic acid ointment, 64 grams? These are the 3 things. Number 1, number 2, required concentration, and number 3. These 3 things will be in the statement. There will be any filler, but mostly you will see these 3 things clearly in the statement. This is about concepts. This is actually not about solving the questions, because there might be some other calculations involved at the end or in the beginning, just like converting something into percentage first. So we are not going to talk about that. We are just going to talk about the techniques, that how many things you will receive in the answer. For example, let me just go back. What I told you is that, just bear with me. In one type of question, you will have just 1% given and the required percentage given, and you will left with the solvent or the active ingredient. So you have to decide that. This is one type of the question. Second type of the question is in which they will give you both of these concentrations and they will give you the required concentration. Just find this in the statement. Okay, 20% salicylic acid. I'll make a statement here. How much gram of 20% salicylic acid in solvent, or how much ml of 20% salicylic acid solvent is required to make 15% concentration, when we can use 10% salicylic acid in solvent to mix with it. Okay, this kind of statements. What I want you to focus here is what information is given in the question and how to solve it, right? If this is solvent and not give you any percentage, you have to do this yourself, that this is a solvent, this is going to be 0%. This is active ingredient, this is going to be 100%. The second type of question, you have both of the concentrations given as well as the required concentrations would be given definitely. This is the pith and marrow. Okay, the third part was they will give you this 64% grams. This is where this 64% gram is coming from the question. They have tied our hands. Okay, so they are asking about how many grams of salicylic acid we need to add to make 10% concentration out of this 4% salicylic acid ointment. And this is really hand tiding, 64 grams tied our hands. Okay, so that's why in this kind of questions, we need to do some reverse calculations. Instead of giving the value here of the final concentration, we use this value as final. We only have 64 grams. So 64 grams is going into the preparation, that's it. Right, we cannot add more or we cannot add less. 64 grams must go into the full solution or full compound, right? So what we will do, we will just memorize this thing. This is just one kind of question. We write this 64% in here. Okay, right side of the is equal to, and then we find this value that is missing. How we reshuffle the equation according to this. Now this 96 is coming on the numerator, this 90 is coming on the denominator. So this value is going to be, the missing value is going to be 68.26. Right, now we know this value. The fastest thing to do in the KAPs calculation is to just memorize what are the steps you need to do. If you go after the logic, you are going to waste time, and time is money, and time is success in a second part of in paper 2 of the KAPs. Paper 2 is difficult one. So just memorize that if we have any 64 gram or any final volume or final weight of the substance given, you follow this formula. That's it. Straightforward, follow this formula. Don't go into the other things. Straight, write it down things and find out by reverse calculating this value. And now we are going to use this value in the upper portion because this was the question. How many grams question mark? This was the actual question. So we are going to use it there now, right? And then we will have our final answer, 4.26 grams. So these are three types of questions I have discussed. In number 1, in which they will give you concentration of one substance, and other they will leave you hang on dry. They will give you some solvent or maybe active ingredients. You just draw this equation, and there are some simple rules. I have told you that to just like if a higher concentration will go up, like this 100 concentration is going upside of this whole equation, and lower concentration is going downsides. So the second type was where we have, second type was the simple one, concentrations of substance 1, substance 2.
68.26 is active in this calculation.
I don't know, there might be an error, but this is the technique that you have to follow. Is this wrong here? 68.26?
That's the right answer.
Okay, that doesn't matter. Even if it's 71, 72, 76, just focus on the technique here, right? The numbers are going to be different in the exam. So if they are giving you, okay, the second thing I was talking about, second type, they would be giving you the concentration of both of these stock solutions, and they will give you a required solution. Super simple. And in this third type, they will tide our hands by giving us a final volume of something that we only have 64 grams that we must use. The previous questions, as I told you before, to note that we can use whatever volume or whatever grammage of this substance we can. But here in this type of question, we can only use 64 grams, nothing less, nothing more, full 64 grams. That's why we have to go through this reverse calculation a bit. We need to find this value, and then we use this value to calculate our answer for the required statement. What we will do is we are going to have next session, we will have question and answer there. You repeat this video a couple of times. You repeat this video a couple of times, you go to the notes because there are dozens of questions, we cannot solve them here. You try to solve them, you will stuck. That's natural, and we will solve it later. All right. There will be a meeting like this again. On the next topics, but we will have time for consulting the previous one. This is a confusing topic, right? Very confusing. So this was the main topic of the presentation actually. So I tried my best to explain things, and you have to struggle yourself to a bit. Just go through these 3 type of questions. You will find these in the notes only, and try to solve it this way. Any general question, not very detailed. It's getting very long. No? Okay, raise hands. How many of you have understood this? Completely understood this?
Sir, can you share this video slides?
Video slides will be in the video, and the video
Okay,
will be on Sir Irfan's channel. Okay, so a very few number of people understood completely, and there is a majority who do not understand completely. So we have a limited time, and I have my thought exhausted. So what we will do, I will leave it to repeating the video. We should repeat this video again and again and try solving the questions. Now that you know what type of questions you are, first of all, this is a main trick of the KAPs. First of all, we need to identify what is the approach we need to take. If we stand here and we try approaches, okay, approach 1, approach 2, approach 3, we are definitely going to lose our time. Okay, this calculation is going to be in paper 2, and paper 2 includes therapeutics. There are going to be long questions. This is super important for you to identify exactly. If you couldn't get anything from my slides, don't worry, make your own tricks. Okay, so you need to understand that, okay, these things are given in the questions and this is the path I have to follow. Just follow it. There is, this is not a theoretical paper, this is just an MCQ paper. Nobody's gonna ask you about the details. So if you take a shortcut, you can take it. Okay, 8 participants only.
सर पेपर पे हम पेपर पेंसिल यूज कर सकते हैं?
Yes, they will give you a paper and pencil. This would be a marker, I would say, and there is going to be a transparent paper. Yes, you can. You must take your calculator. They will allow a scientific calculator. Yes.
Okay. Sir, I have a question.
You must take a calculator. Yes.
Regarding the exam, sir, I have a general question. Sir, please tell me that all the questions will come in front of the screen at once, or they will come one by one? Like we have to answer one question and then the second one will come, or there will be a display of all the questions in front of us at the
Okay,
first
to
time?
answer this and all the other questions like this, there is a demo available on the Pearson website. You should search it, Google it, and you will find it. This would be a very clear-cut view of how exam is going to look like. One exam to going to be, one question is going to be visible on the screen at a time, and how you will move forward, backwards. This will be given there. It would be best to take that. I took that, and most of our elite members took that before going to the exam. And even if you don't take that, before the exam, there is a 10-minute tutorial to teach you how to do things. So this is easy. This is not a thing to worry about.
Okay, please repeat this.
Okay, there is.
Read the website.
Repeat what? About the questions? The way questions are gonna appear?
No, please repeat the name of the website which you were telling about.
Okay, Pearson is our testing service, right? APC has hired Pearson, Pearson. Pearson. This service took the also took the exam for Saudi Arabia and Dubai. You can search it, and when you will book your exam, you will be booking it through the Pearson portal. Okay, there is one small thing remaining here, and that is about the mole, millimole, equivalent, milliosmoles, how the conversion works. This is the basic idea. This is not the depth. Depth is really difficult, more difficult than the alligation method. For now, to make path for my next presentations on mole, millimole, and MEQ, I just want you to just introduce yourself to the ideas of how things work. So this is going to be different from the rest of the calculations. This is more about the chemistry concept. We have this magnesium chloride, for example. Magnesium chloride is going to dissociate into magnesium and chloride. So I am going to talk about here moles and millimoles first of all. Okay, this is going to be magnesium chloride and magnesium and 2 chlorides. Why 2 chlorides? Anybody can tell me why 2 chlorides are here?
There are two, sir, atoms.
Because
So to balance the equation?
To balance the equation, this is actually the fact that there are 2
Valence.
Yes, there are 2. No, not about the valence.
Because of the two electrons.
Can you see Mg, Cl, and 2? These 2, when we write it in the subscript, that means there are 2 chlorides. So this is going to be 2 chloride when dissociate, right? This is why the 2 are here. 2 chloride and 1 magnesium. Yes, 2 atoms, exactly. Right? Why there are 2 chlorides? Because there are 2 chlorides in the actual molecule too. We write 2 in the subscript. That means there are 2 chlorides. Next concept. Next concept is about the valency. This is the valency of magnesium. It will not have any impact on moles, millimoles, or milliosmoles. It will have impact on milli-equivalents only. So right now, just keep in mind that this is valency. Some things, some atoms have valency, like this chloride has just 1, right? This is, you can say this small sign minus. Most of this has 1. And you have to memorize this actually. There are only a few things like calcium, magnesium, zinc, aluminium. We will do this later, but these are a couple of atoms that we need to memorize their valency just for MEQ, milli equivalent questions. Oh, so this should be clear as well. Right? This is interesting.
Yes, it is clear, sir.
Okay, coming to the next part, moles. How we calculate moles. 1 mole of magnesium chloride is going to give us 1 mole of magnesium and 2 moles of chloride. How is this? Moles and milliosmoles and all of these things. These are about the number of particles. Okay, the number of particles. Look at my, can you see my hands? Maybe. Okay, just put your hands together. This is magnesium chloride. This is 1 particle at the moment, right? Magnesium chloride is a 1 molecule. This will be counted as 1 particle. That's why we are counting it as 1 mole. Good? Yes. Okay, so when it dissociate, hands goes off. Now there is going to be magnesium separate, and we cannot cut our hand in the center. So just keep this in mind that this is about particles. Okay, magnesium chloride is 1 molecule. That's why it was 1 mole. So when it dissociate, it is going to give us 1 magnesium and 2 chloride. 1 mole magnesium and 2 mole chloride. This is what you are looking at your screens. 1 mole of magnesium chloride is going to give us 1 mole of magnesium and 2 mole of chloride. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes, it is clear.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. Now, what is the tricky part in the questions? This is the way we have gone through. Okay, 1 mole of magnesium chloride is going to give us 1 mole of magnesium and 2 mole of chloride. The question is not going to be like this. They will be asking the reverse. They will be asking, okay, how many moles of chloride are required to get 1 mole of magnesium chloride? What will be the answer? How many moles of chloride are required to get 1 mole of magnesium chloride?
2 moles.
2 moles.
2 moles, yes, 2 moles, because we have first we were moving forwards, now we are moving backwards. Now all the questions of this mole, millimole, MEQ and milliosmoles are going to be this way. They will be asking this. So this is the basic concept, right? It's very easy. We will do difficult part of this later. The basic concept should be clear. Okay, moving towards next point. The moles and millimoles, just like we talked, is just a unit. We can convert it, right? We can talk about millimoles, we can talk about moles. Just as the table stated in our first slide, there are 1000 millimoles in 1 mole. This is just a unit. I didn't get it first time. So that's why I'm telling you guys that this is just simple. This is just a unit like gram and mg. Okay? And whatever you use, you can use it, whatever you want, but throughout the then. You cannot say that we have started using millimoles and at the end of the equation you forget and you just write mole there. If we are taking millimoles from the start, if millimoles are given in the question, of course you will take millimole from the start, but this should not be mistaken with the moles at the end of the question, because they might confuse you in the options. This point is clear. You can take millimoles and moles just like units, and you can even convert them. If in a question they say 3 things in millimoles and 1 thing in mole, so you can convert that mole into millimole, just multiply it by 1000, it would be millimole. Then there will be alone millimole you have to deal with, and you make all the calculations in millimole. And you will be getting this term more, millimole, more in the exam and in the practice as well. So we can say that 1 millimole, this is not any mathematical derivation, this is just simply me telling you that 1 millimole magnesium chloride is going to give us 1 millimole of magnesium and 2 millimole of chloride, right? Pretty simple. If we can take it in millimoles, we can take throughout in millimoles. If we can take it moles, in moles. We are not converting this mole and millimole. Remember, we are not converting it. I am not converting it. I'm just telling you, if we take 1 millimole of magnesium chloride, the next things are going to be in millimole. If we take this as mole, next thing are going to be in mole, right? How many of you understand this concept? Raise hands.
Will they
What is the
ask us
rest
to
of this?
convert the units like mole to millimole? Will they ask
Yes,
these
we
type
can
of questions?
convert them. Yes, yes. Yeah, not that simple one, but in the question you will sometime need to convert it. There, the questions are going to be multi-parted, not simple straightforward questions that convert 1 mole into millimole. This is not going to be a question, but maybe somewhere in the statement while solving you need to convert it. Like I told you, if they have given millimole 3 times in the question, 3 different things in millimoles and 1 thing in mole, so we can convert it into millimole so that we can proceed with the further calculation. So just for the idea that do not fear this mole and millimole, there are 1000 millimole in one mole, right? Okay. There are a little number of participants who are actively participating. All right, let's move on to the next. Now that we have gone through the moles and millimoles, now it's time to go for milliosmoles. What are milliosmoles? Nothing to fear. Milliosmoles are pretty equivalent to milliosmoles, and osmoles are equivalent to moles, just like in our table. Remember, moles, osmoles. If we need to convert them into milli, then we have to multiply it by 1000. So this is same. osmol and milliosmol. So what was the sentence we made in the first slide? Milli, micro, nano, and pico. Remember, this is the same milliosmol. Don't fear that this is just 1000 osmoles. So if we see in the equation, now 1 milliosmol, sorry. Now we are going to talk about the milliosmoles. We can talk about osmoles, but for the sake of this presentation, I am selecting milliosmol, so we will say milliosmol. 1 milliosmol of magnesium chloride is going to give us 1 milliosmol, same as mole of magnesium, and 2 milliosmoles of chloride. Is this clear too?
Yes, it's clear.
All right, sir.
Yes, clear. Yes,
All
clear.
This is straightforward, the moles or milliosmoles. If you are in milliosmoles, you should be seeing things in millimoles as well. Okay, and if you are in milli unit, you should keep everything milli. Okay, 1 milliosmol is equal to 1 millimole. Okay, the next and the last thing is about milli equivalents. So this is a bit tricky, just a bit tricky. Nothing to worry about. This milli equivalent is about the valency. That's why I have written the valency here in the equation. This is just about the MEQ. The rest of all the terms are equivalent. Moles, milliosmoles, or mole, osmol, they are equivalent. Okay. For the purpose of MEQ, we take in consideration the valency. And that's why in our next lectures, we will memorize 3-4 of these things. 3-4 of these things like magnesium, potassium, zinc, aluminium. These are a few that we'll use in the exam. So let's calculate that. And be prepared, I'm going to ask a question. 1 MEQ of magnesium chloride is going to give how much MEQ of magnesium? If anybody knew prior, he is going to answer.
2
Yeah,
magnesium.
2. Why? 2, yes, 2, because there is 2 in the valency.
Last valence contain 2 molecules.
Let's not get dive in that. Let's not dive in that. Just multiply it by 2. Either it is, yes, it is valency. Either it is a positive sign or a negative sign here. Doesn't matter. Forget that. Just multiply by 2. Sign. Okay. The positive and negative sign doesn't matter. Just multiply it by 2. And how much is going to be MEQ of chloride here?
1. That would be 1.
It's 1.
Oh.
Contain only
No,
1
no,
electron.
there are 2 separate.
It should be 2
separate,
separate chlorides.
Chloride. It is, yes, because there are 2 separate particles.
Okay.
So this is going to be the same. Everything is going to be the same with MEQ as well. Just as the atoms that have valency, they are going to differ. Rest, they are going to be the same. And this is the most tricky question. What are they going to ask about? Let's see what are going to be the questions. The question is going to be about how much MEQ of magnesium is required to make 1 MEQ of magnesium chloride. So this is tricky because this is differentiating from other things like moles, milliosmoles. So we are differentiating with this. We see that, okay, this is magnesium, this thing has a valency. So this is tricking me. So you just need to find out that, okay, it's 2 MEQ of magnesium is required to make. If we go reverse, so we can say that 2 MEQ of magnesium is going to make 1 MEQ of MgCl2, magnesium chloride. Well, they are also going to interchange the terms. I have written this 1 MEQ for your consideration only. Consider this going this way. 2 MEQ of magnesium is going to give us 1 mole of MgCl. This is interchangeable, right? This mole, this equation is interchangeable. So we can say that 2 MEQ of magnesium is going to give us 1 mole of magnesium chloride. Can we say this?
Yes, sir, clear.
Yes, yes, yes.
This is going to be the question in the exam. Okay, how many MEQ? So we just need to, everything else is similar. Moles, osmoles, equivalents, everything is similar. Just about the atoms that have valency, we we have a differentiation there. Okay, this was simple.
Sami,
If
can we have
anybody-
an example for? Can we have an example for sodium chloride and ACl? In this case, I think it will be 2 sodiums and 1 chloride,
Yeah,
milliosmoles.
No. This is going to be
Sodium
1 because
chloride consists of one sodium and
valency
one
is 1. This is going to be 1. They are not going to this type. They are not going to give this type of question in MEQ. They would know. They only will trick you with this magnesium, calcium, aluminum, and even if they do, you should know how to solve it, right? This is about the valency. MEQ is about the valency. That's it.
All right.
For the NaCl, there is 1 valency for both of those. And anybody have taken a timestamp? How long we are presenting?
2 hours.
2 hours.
Okay. Thank you, sir, Irfan Hashmi, for giving us his paid Zoom. Otherwise, we would have to join 4 times. Okay, that's it, guys, for this presentation. This was about the basics, very basics, and there are more basics
Swami,
that
sir,
we
one
can add
question,
on
please.
these things. Yeah.
Hello, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
So the marks for the calculation, do they count in Sutix or for therapeutics part?
Yeah, they get counted in the pharmaceutics part. And pharmaceutics mainly consist of calculations. There will be less questions for the theory, and there will be more questions for calculations. This is what we have seen in the last exam.
Okay, thank you.
So
Jazakallah.
calculation is a must-have. You cannot pass the KAPs without the calculations. Even we have result of a few persons, they only fail in pharmaceutics, means calculations. The rest of their exam is clear. So this is a must-have. So these are the basics, guys. Get your hands on these things and
Calculations is a part of therapeutics or pharmaceutics?
pharmaceutics.
No, sir, I have seen the paper 2 contents and therapeutics contains all of the calculations.
Questions are mixed. Questions are
It
mixed.
would be
It's not like-
it would be the dose calculation, I guess.
No, let me tell you.
No, it
The
is
calculation-
mentioned that they are given like solvent and milliosmol, and as syllabus is given on this website APC.
Okay. Let me
It
tell you. The questions will be shuffled. They're not going to be a separate portion of the pharmaceutical questions. That okay, these are 30 questions of pharmaceutics. They won't do that. The question will be shuffled, but they will count in pharmaceutics. The therapeutics is different thing. There is more like doses, not doses calculation, doses only. Okay, what is the dose, or about some interactions. So these kind of questions. All of the calculations are going to be under the pharmaceutical portion, even if they are diverse in the exam.
Sami bhai, how much we have covered until now? From where we can practice APC, APEC calculations? Which units we have covered until now?
Okay, to answer this question, the APEC calculations, and we will be following APEC calculation in this series. This covers 80% of the calculations, not 100%. There are some biopharm calculations like half-life, like blood concentration, like loading dose. It's not covered in this APEC. So this should be covered from the 2nd chapter of current version of CPR. We have
No,
to
I
do
mean
that.
to say the 3 methods you choose, you explained today, from where we can practice
Yes.
these, which units of APEC?
I think it's wait a second. They should be in 6 and 7 chapter of APEC.
Chapter 1, 2, 3, and then molecules are in the chapter 9, and the relegation methods are in the chapter 7 and 8.
I think, okay, guys, let's wrap this thing up. If you have any further question, you can ask in the comment section. I will be there answering it. And watch this video again if you have any confusion, and practice, because practice is going to make you perfect and nothing else. I am not gonna make you perfect. Practices and calculation is all about doing on the paper with the pen and not in your head. I think you will get my point. And the more you practice, the more you will have things on your fingertips, and this is going to save your time in the exam. And if you don't pass the calculations, you cannot pass the whole KAPs. There is going to be an allegation, right? Okay. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you so
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome. You can leave now. Me and Mr.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Irfan sir, I am going to make you.
Well done.
Thank you, Sami, for your sincere efforts, sincere high level of teaching. That's amazing. And you kept the
Thank you,
going on for 2 hours. That's amazing. And lots of questions. I think you will be receiving lots of questions in the chat, I think, even after today's session.
I'll keep an eye on that, sir.
Yes. All right. Thank you. And there are 2 raised hands. I don't know, is Anika or Kainal asking something? Maybe just check if you can answer there. Yes.
Sure, I'm here.
And someone want to join, if you let them join. Ikra.
Sir, I have actually made you the host again.
Okay, sure. I'll do that. Okay, sure. Kaina, do you have a question? If you have a question, you can ask the question, because I just request Sami to stay for a couple of minutes. Or you have a raised hand from previous question. Okay, no question. Okay, that's fine. Yes, you have a raised hand. Do you have a question, or you already have asked your question? Is also settled?
No, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thanks. The presentation was quite lovely. I enjoyed it. I just have a request. I have completed the task you asked me to do for the elite group. That's my request, if you could add me.
Okay, so you have done your assessment, have you?
I have also booked my exam for November.
Okay, maybe just message me after the session. I will follow up. All right.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And Hassan, you have a raised hand. Do you have a question with this presentation or something else?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
जी वालेकुम अस्सलाम.
Sir, my question is कि ये जो calculations हैं ये तो मेरे ख्याल से therapeutics के part में आएंगी. जो dose calculation या क्या उसका नाम है वो bioform से related है वो therapeutics में होंगी. वो भी therapeutics में fall करेंगी.
Okay, I'll ask Sami to answer this. You are on mute, Sami. If you unmute yourself.
Okay, sir. ये मैंने पहले भी आंसर किया. जितनी भी कैलकुलेशन होंगी ना वो फार्मास्यूटिक्स के अंदर ही फॉल करें, चाहे वो बायोफॉर्म से हो.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. If everyone has received the value, the question, and they have asked, they've got the answer, so we'll wrap up. And this video is a recorded video on YouTube channel. Even if you have missed anything, if you want to recap, you can go and maybe answer question, you can put in the chat box and Sami can answer that question as well. So we have a promise for that. All right, so thank you very much, Sami. Again, is a long.
Welcome, sir.
All right, so we'll finish the session today. Thank you, everyone.